Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about episode 18 of Power Rangers Dino Fury, which is Crossed Wires, which was an okay episode, wasn't a strong contender, but it was a kind of an okay-ish episode. Now, most of this kind of showed about learning, about how certain characters or how certain people learn at different rates. And I've got to admit, that was kind of really cool to kind of see it. And I kind of saw myself in this episode because I look when I learn stuff, I'm better at seeing and stuff rather than reading at times. So I kind of could see where Izzy is in this episode and how she reacts, etc., etc. So kind of the roundup of this episode is the fact that you see more of Izzy and Fern, and the fact is we actually get a kiss, which it's on the cheek, it's holding hands, it's stuff like that. I really like this. I did think that they would kind of not talk about this much, where it would just be it's over and done with. You wouldn't see much of them again, preferably near the end of the last episode, etc., etc. But seeing this, I was really happy. I was like, I'm so glad that they're keeping towards this and they're going on with the actual relationship rather than, hey, we've just mentioned it and now it is. We get confirmation that they are now dating. They are girlfriend and girlfriend, which is absolutely fucking amazing, which I generally really liked hearing. Also, Izzy kind of hides the fact that her test that she can't do really well. She's told everyone she's good at electronics, which I don't think I've heard anywhere in the season. Like, she's like, oh yeah, I'm really good with electronics now. So for me hearing that, I was just like, oh, that's just kind of a throwaway line. But we get the whole thing where Izzy keeps going on about saying, hey, I'm gonna ace this test. I need to study on my own. She doesn't take any help whatsoever, which I generally kind of thought that she would do. Like, she's got friends and we've had progress, and I kind of thought, well, why can't she confide in her friends a little bit more rather than just the generic, hey guys, I'm going to do this on my own, and yeah, that's the thing. So for me, I was mainly kind of interested to see how this story would go, which is then the whole thing of like, hey guys, I'm so sorry, I didn't know how to do this before, I do now, etc., etc. The Rangers get alerted to go downtown, and they go down to the park, and they see a lot of people kind of just passed out sleeping. No one knows why, and you kind of think, well, we know. And you kind of think, like, rather than Rangers go, ooh, what's this? I don't know. You go, technically you do. Like, it's going to be Void Knight and his gang. So I generally kind of thought, oh, this is kind of a bit weird. But then we see Izzy and Javi's dad come through, and like he's like, these people don't have a permit to be sleeping, and I was just like, oh, fuck's sake, seriously. This is a monster type thing that's been going on. But again, we get the whole generic like, oh, I'm gonna wake them up, they can't be here. And I just generally think, like, can you actually enjoy the park in Dino Fury? I feel like you'd be walking down the path, and he'd just come up and complain like, you can't do that, you can't do that, get away from here, get away from here. And that kind of really irritated me on like so many levels. We find there's a device that puts people to sleep, which is fine. You kind of think, I thought the monster was just throwing out like sleep balls and it hitting them, but no, it's a device that can put them to sleep. So the Rangers have got to kind of split up. Zato, Amelia, and Ollie go down to the kind of like the industrial stuff, and I generally thought Beast Morphers when we saw this area. They find the device and they know that there is something going on because a monster just comes randomly attacking. Ollie opens up the box before the monsters attack, and he is able to kind of take off the machine, like unplug it at certain points because he knows about electronics. He kind of boasts about this earlier on in the episode, going like, I know more than anything. He then relays the information to Izzy, but then Izzy doesn't understand it because she doesn't know it, and thus therefore that's when the monster kind of comes in and just tries to wail on the Rangers, but it doesn't happen. Because of Izzy's mistake, Javi as well as Ion, they get shot with like a more powerful blast of the sleep power, and thus therefore they go straight to a sleep. But because the machine's also kind of short-circuited, other people kind of wake up and everyone kind of moves on. One thing I didn't like about this scene was when Izzy runs over to help them up to kind of say, hey, I'm going to help you through this, wake up, etc., etc. She teleports away, and you kind of think that someone could have seen that, and I feel like literally you could have had, like, say, when the others come up and say, hey, like, we'll help you, like, no, can you go get help, and then teleport away rather than doing it. or before you see it, kind of like they get up, teleport out straight away. But for when I saw this, I just generally kind of thought, really? It just, to me, it was kind of a little bit, you could definitely see what's going on. They could definitely hide. When they get back to base, Izzy opens up and says, hey, my mistake. I don't know about electronics. Ollie goes into this whole thing of like, oh, how dare you? You should know this. You lied to us. But I'm just thinking, come on, man. Like, I know it's a bad thing, but at least she's opening up now and telling you about it. So Solarin as well as Ollie start looking at the device because they know how to do it. And Solarin says, hey, like, do you want to include Izzy? And he's like, no, like, she's lied. How dare she even be here right now type thing. That's the kind of impression I got. But Solarin says, like, look, maybe she doesn't know how to understand it from a book type thing. Maybe that's not the way that she learns. She learns by, hands-on experience. And thus, therefore, we get a really kind of nice montage of Ollie teaching Izzy everything. And I really kind of like this scene because it didn't feel forced and it wasn't too long or too short. It felt right, which I generally kind of like. You don't normally see this. Normally it's over quite quickly, but I really love the fact that these two like built more of a connection to disable this entire whole like device that we're going to see a little bit later on. And you know what you haven't done just yet? You haven't clicked the like button, the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. And you want to have more videos. Anyway, leave a comment as well on your favorite part of the episode. Back at the base with Void Knight and Mucus, I generally kind of thought Mucus was one of these like type of people that you'd come around for a cup of tea and she would tell you all that's going on. It's like, this happened and this happened, and I did this and did that, and you're like, oh god damn it. Void Knight gets a bit annoyed and sends the other two monsters off to go trick everyone and put everyone to sleep with this giant box that could like put the entire city to sleep, because plot division, yay. The Rangers go downtown and Ollie is able to get past these monsters because there's three of them. Effectively, they've destroyed the first one, so the other two are kind of fighting. They've got henchmen, but Ollie gets hit by one of the sleep boxes, goes to sleep, so then leaves it all up to Izzy, who then has to kind of go and to make sure that the device is kind of shut down. Otherwise, it's going to like put everybody in the city asleep, which you kind of think, this is one thing I kind of thought of. So the two monsters have grown up. And they are going to attack the Rangers. The Rangers then get into their Megazord. They get beaten quite a bit, which again is something really nice. We don't normally see this all the time, so I'm liking the fact that the Megazord is getting absolutely trashed constantly. And both of them are, the Gold Rangers as well as the standard ones. But one thing is, I would have grabbed the box to put them to sleep and thrown it into space. It would have made more sense. But obviously, I'm guessing you're trying to kind of pad out the entire episode and show that what Izzy's learned from Ollie is kind of being kind of put in. So it's not kind of a bad thing or, a time waster, etc., etc. So the Rangers make the first Ultra Zord. I don't think it's an Ultra Zord. I feel like it's part of it. I feel like when you hear Ultra Zord, it's every single Zord combined, where we didn't get all of them here. So I was a bit So we get the Ultra Zord Fusion or Fusion Ultra Zord, and the Rangers win. Like, because these two monsters have fused together, they get bigger, so therefore the Ultra Zord is in there and absolutely destroys everyone. We then have the end of the episode where Izzy has gained the biggest mark in the class, which is an A+, and she has the highest grade, which is great because you kind of see this happening because she learned from Ollie. She thanks Ollie, and everyone kind of starts walking off. Ferns join them, so I kind of like that. And then we have Pop Pop. Now, to me, there were two things. One, I don't feel like this scene needed to be in there. I feel like you could have had the whole thing of maybe a bit more chatter with the Rangers and then lead off into an end where they're all walking away. I think that would have been a bit better in my eyes. But Pop Pop is getting rid of leaves. So rather than actually being on the kind of balcony where it is, and he's using his leaf blower, which then would have pushed him back because of the wind, he gets rid of the leaves, they fall down, and again, there was no trees around the area, so I don't know how many leaves get in that area. It just felt, again, like a useless scene. Pop Pop falls down, he goes into the leaves, They say, you know, he goes, I'm fine, but my leaf blower isn't. Izzy then goes, oh, I know exactly what's happened. I can help you with that. And Pop Pop's like, yep, let's go. And that is pretty much it. And there we go. That is the entire episode. Now, I really like the part where we've seen progression with Fern and Izzy. I like the fact they're in a relationship. They said that they're both partners, they're girlfriend and girlfriend. Absolutely loved it. Love the fact that Izzy kissed her on the cheek. Absolutely like that, because it does show that it wasn't just a show in the previous episode, and their relationship has gone forward. I feel like the sleep thing was okay. It could have been handled a bit better, but obviously you had to show the progression of Izzy, which I'm okay with. I just feel like it could have been done a tad bit better. And then the ending with Pop Pop, didn't think that needed to be in. I felt like they had to put a comedy scene in there, which is fine. Like, they obviously want to do this right now because, you know, they had to with the Nickelodeon contract. I'm just hoping that these scenes that they don't really need to be put in get kind of taken out later, because again, it doesn't need to happen. But apart from that, it was an okay episode. Not one of the best ones, but it did show character development and character growth, which again we can put down. And now I can't wait for the next one, which should be coming out on Monday, which we'll join for episode 19. Anyway, I am going to leave it there. What did you think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as a cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとう。チャンネル登録、高評価お願い。